Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another manga chapter review for Dragon Ball Super this time. And yes, obviously I did not. The reason why I did not do a Dragon Ball Super manga chapter review the day the chapter came out was, well, it was because I thought I was getting my wisdom teeth pulled, and I had to reschedule because of things coming up in my personal life. But I just decided to kind of take a break off of uploading to my YouTube channel because, eventually you kind of just sometimes need to take a break, and I just had to. But hey, I'm back now. So I'm here to discuss the Dragon Ball Super manga chapter, which I thought was a solid chapter. Going more into, I guess, the backstory of Bardock from what we know, the Dragon Ball Super version of Bardock. Even though the Dragon Ball Super Toriyama version, or really, it's not the Dragon Ball Super version, but it's the Toriyama version of Bardock, how he has Bardock handle, which is not significantly different. Yeah, he has a little bit more of a gentle personality compared to his the Bardock special, Bardock. But, personally, to me, I don't really care. I just think this Toriyama made this Bardock. I think personally Toriyama kind of just like somewhat redid Goku's backstory to make it come across more like Superman. That's the one thing I don't like, in a sense. For I guess the redone, freaking retcon. I guess you could say retconned. I guess you can say retcon, Goku's journey to Earth and stuff like that. But it is what it is. Whatever. We get the backstory of how what happened back in the past with Bardock and Granolah and his mom and Monaito and stuff like that. So let's get into this chapter. So this Dragon Ball Super chapter 77, titled Bardock, the Father of Goku. Now, 40 years ago on planet Cereal, we see that there was some Namekians that lived alongside the Ceruleans, and they were just living in peace, stuff like that. Now, Monaito goes on to say, we Namekians got on well with the Ceruleans, living in peace and helping each other out as good neighbors should, until one fateful night, lit by the full moon. Obviously, the Saiyans came down, and they made a wreckage of the place. So you just see how the Saiyans just invaded planet Cereal and damn near killed mostly every Namekian and mostly every Cerulean in there. Now, Monaito goes and say there weren't many of us Namekians and Ceruleans on the planet to begin with, so their invasion went off without much of a hitch. So you get this crazy panel where you see these Namekians huddled up with each other, and you just have some of Frieza's men just shoot them in cold blood, which is crazy. Now, we see a kind of a beat-up Monaito heading to the Grand Elder, and that Grand Elder essentially gives Monaito the power to do what he wants with the Dragon Balls and stuff like that. Now, don't ask me why Monaito never, after the Saiyans, I guess, left, never used the Dragon Balls to wish his people back. That's enough. Okay, actually, that makes a damn good question. Because we know how somewhat seemingly overpowered. Now, we don't know in terms of the grand schemes if these Dragon Balls can only wish back one person at a time, like the Earth, or like the Namekian Dragon Balls. But why did Monaito not, I don't know, after we see at the end of the chapter, after clearly the Heaters left the planet, why didn't Monaito just get the good idea to revive Granola's mother, the other Ceruleans, and the Namekians that died in this whole attack? Why did they not do that? Honestly, now looking over the chapter, you have to question, why did Monaito just not revive using? Why not Monaito not using the Dragon Balls, just revive everybody that died? Why not? Why did he not do that? That's a good question to ask. Really a good question to ask. I don't think see, they should have brought that question up. I wish Goku and Vegeta brought that question up. If the Dragon Balls were so, powerful, I wish Goku or Vegeta spoke to be like, well, okay, that event happened, yeah, then why didn't you use the Dragon Balls to revive your fallen comrades? That's a good question. Anyways, I'm not going to dwell too much on that. So I guess you can say that's a writing flaw right there, because Monaito easily could have used the Dragon Balls to revive everybody that died. So yeah. Anyways, because of that, and ended up having Monaito being the last surviving planet, Namekian on the planet. Now, he goes on to say the Ceruleans didn't do much better, and we see the great ape Bardock looking and seeing, obviously, with Granola's mother running into the church. And eventually, when Bardock's looking in, well, he sees Granola's mom and Granolah and a kid. And it looks like Bardock's gonna creep in a bit more, but he sees that, and then all of a sudden, a Cerulean gets the right idea to tell one of his men, shoot at the moon, because that's their power source. So they shoot at the moon, and this one Saiyan tries to get involved in the whole aspect, but it just scrapes his eye just barely, and well, the moon gets destroyed, and because of it, all the Saiyans deform, and essentially because of it, the Ceruleans think they've won, but the Saiyans, obviously, they're like, well, okay, you blew the moon, great, but we're still powerful in our regular form, so fine, just deal with it. And that's when we have a cameo of a much older, or of a much younger Raditz with hair, because you can see his mustache, it's Raditz. And Raditz was on this attack, which some of the reviewers I haven't watched all of the people reviewed this chapter. I think I only watched Geekdom 101's review. He made a mention that Raditz in the chapter, but he didn't make a mention that Nappa was in this chapter too. But Nappa was in this chapter, which is a cool homage and stuff like that. So yeah, Nappa ends up killing some stuff, and we see Nappa calling to this other Saiyan, Leek, to mop up the rest, and then they got to leave, and stuff like that. Now, Leek, I think we saw Leek in Leek the Saiyan. I know he made an appearance. I don't remember. I have to look it up, but I think he made an appearance in Dragon Ball Super Broly. He was talking to Bardock. So, well, if you watch Dragon Ball Super Broly, well, here's Leek. So here's another homage to the Broly movie. Now, Bardock is obviously in his regular form, and he's confronting Granola's mother while she's holding Granolah literally in his arm. Now, she fires at Bardock, and Bardock just barely dodges the attack, and stuff like that. And this is when Bardock kind of reminisces back a bit and has a flashback to when Goku was just being born, and you see Gine essentially saying, you missed his birth, and you know how many months you've been gone doing your work and stuff like that. And obviously Bardock's like, well, that explains why your tummy is flat, essentially saying, well, that shows why you're not pregnant anymore, and stuff like that. Now, Gine is like, Jesus. It's like she's almost like every damn Earth girl who's married to, well, it's like she's like Chi-Chi and Bulma, who always make up the whole thing's the fact that, man, do you Saiyans have any damn emotions for your loved ones? Jesus. Now she goes on to say he's an incubator. Eventually find out how Bardock led to call Goku Kakarot and stuff like that. In this whole thing, we see a kid Raditz playing with some other Saiyan kids. So another Saiyan homage, or another homage to a former character and stuff like that. So yeah, and obviously this whole scene where Bardock gives Goku's name Kakarot, and obviously Gine is like, grow up big and strong, my little Kakarot, and stuff like that, which again is still pretty much sad because it's like, oh, he never got to meet his parents, really. But I do like the fact that in this chapter Goku gets a little bit more understanding about his dad. Anyways, we see Leek come over and he's telling Bardock, hey, we got to get out of here before Frieza shows up, because we don't want to get in trouble and stuff like that. So yeah, now Bardock's like, oh yeah, so could you just bail out? I'll catch up with you, Leek, and stuff like that. I'm just checking for survivors and everything and stuff like that. And Leek's like, okay, yeah, just make sure you get here before Frieza shows up, because I don't want you to get killed by him and stuff like that. Now, Bardock knows that these are the last two ceruleans and stuff like that, and this is when on a scouter he sees that there's another small power, and essentially Bardock knows it's something intelligent. He's like, the moves are too deliberate. Now eventually he takes Granola's mother to where Monaito's stationed at, and essentially Monaito looks like he's going to attack Bardock, but Bardock blocks the attack, and Bardock's shocked, like, the hell's Namekian doing here? And then also Bardock's like, your power level jumped, huh? So you Namekians are special and stuff like that. That's why which Bardock kind of finds out that, well, guess what? Namekians can hide their power levels and stuff like that, which we know that they can do and stuff like that. Now Monaito sees the Granolah and his mother, and he's like, oh good, there's two more ceruleans and stuff like that. I'm glad they're survivors. So we find out Granola's mom's name is Muzelli, and she says, like, this is my boy Granolah, and essentially she asks Monaito, like, can we please stay here for shelter? Monaito's like, yeah, sure, you can. We're on this together. He goes on and say his name's Monaito, and Bardock, before, as it looks like he's leaving, Bardock's like, listen, you guys might want to hide somewhere because Frieza's coming, and you probably want to stay off his radar so you don't end up getting killed and stuff like that. Now Monaito's like, but you're a Saiyan, why are you helping us? And Bardock's like, well, I'm just doing it because I'm just doing it. Anyways, I gotta get out. And he said, it looks like he's gonna say his goodbyes, but Monaito's like, what's your name? And Bardock says, well, my name's Bardock. So yeah. Now we come back to the present day, and Granola's shocked that, wait, are you telling me that a Saiyan kept me alive and stuff like that? And Monaito's like, yes, look, I'm sorry for keeping you that from you. Now Monaito looks over to Goku. He's like, you look just like that Bardock dude. Goku's like, wait, what? And he's like, and Monaito's like, yeah. He's like, and then Monaito asks Goku the question. He's like, do you happen to be like some sort of relative or like akin to Bardock? And Goku's like, I don't know. I was raised by my grandpa Gohan, so I don't know much about Saiyans in the past and everything. And this is when Vegeta finally confirms and tells it to Goku that he's like, Kakarot, dude, Bardock was your father, man. He was your legit father. And Goku's like, wait, what the hell? He's like, my father, really? So finally Goku finally gets revealed who Bardock is, and the fact that Bardock is his father. I do like the fact that finally Vegeta finally told him, like, dude, Bardock was your father, man, and stuff like that. And Monaito's shocked because he's like, whoa, that's shocking. Wait, you're his son and everything? And Granola's shocked. He's like, wait, you're the son of the man who saved me back all the way back then and stuff like that. Now Goku's like, well, I wish I knew something about my dad, but I don't really know much about him and stuff like that. And Vegeta kind of makes a comment saying, well, in any case, you're just as soft-hearted as it seems like your soft-heartedness runs in your family. Now, a lot of people, from what I've seen, have been taking this line and stuff like that. I think Vegeta is just saying that because in the grand scheme of things, let's be honest, would Vegeta truly know Goku's family line other than, I guess, Bardock, Gine, and Raditz? I'm thinking he's just making the implication that I think Vegeta's making more of an implication that, oh, it seems now I understand why you're so freaking too damn good and you show mercy to your opponents. It's probably thanks to your damn family, was it, huh? And something. I think that's more of an implication Vegeta's getting at than saying, like, oh, that's because your family was true-hearted. Because I don't think Vegeta knew too much about his Goku's true family. We all know Gine seems like, from what we saw, is a Saiyan girl, a Saiyan mother that was probably a caring person and did not like lives being lost. It seems like she acts more than anything like modern day Goku in terms of, not unlike the obliviousness, just the kind soft-heartedness that Goku has. Well, I guess you can say in a way he gets that from his mother, but technically we know Goku, when he first got to Earth, he was cutting up and he was acting like a dang disobedient child until he bumped his head. everything. And then too, we know how bad Raditz was of a guy, and even Bardock, because they still killed people regardless and stuff like that. Now, Granolah goes and asks, like, okay, but what about my mother? How did she die then? And that's when Monaito goes on to say about how that happened, that whole story. Now, Monaito tells Bardock, like, maybe you should rest here a bit before you go and everything. And also, Monaito heals Bardock. So we find out that Monaito has healing powers just like Dende does. And Bardock's like, I didn't know you Namekians could do that stuff. And Monaito's like, the really gifted Namekians can have the abilities to restore your energy in a blink of an eye and stuff like that. But he goes on to say, it took me a lot just to heal up one scratch. So it looks like to me that Monaito here is like just almost a god, like a middle-aged going on old Namekian. We don't know how good his healing powers are as an old man. It's probably not the best and stuff like that. Now Bardock gets another energy source, our power level source from somewhere else, and then lo and behold, we see the Heaters 40 years ago, and we see a much younger Heaters group. And Bardock knows the Heaters. He's like, shit, the Heaters are here and stuff like that. And Monaito's like, who are the Heaters? And Bardock's like, they act as intermediaries for planets that Frieza's conquered. Simply put, they're brokers. And he goes on to say, Bardock goes on to say that I'm guessing they must have set sight on their planet. That's probably why we had to attack this planet and everything. Now, the Heaters go on to say, perfect. The Ceruleans and Namekians are out of the picture. Get word to the Shigarians and start negotiating on a price. So even back then, the Heaters are like, okay, yeah, find out what the Shigarians want, and we'll give them the price of their planet. And stuff like that. And Maki's like, I bet you're gonna fleece them, aren't you? And stuff like that. And you know, that's when obviously I keep forgetting his freaking name. Who's the leaders of the Heaters' name? Alec. Alec goes on to say, once yeah, sure. You know, once we screwed up this place, I won't sell it for less than 100 billion Pol, which I guess is space currency, and stuff like that. Now, Oil goes on to mention, what about the cut for Frieza's army? And Alec's like, well, you can give them a tenth of their total. So we know that, well, Frieza's men worked a lot. The Heaters worked alongside Frieza, and then he also paid them for helping out with this whole stuff and for taking over these planets, so then Alec can come in and sell these planets off and stuff like that. Now, Alec goes on to say, most of Frieza's people are just in the business for the carnage and battle-crazed diehards without the brains to know a planet's true value. Goes on to say, as long as Frieza himself doesn't catch on to what we're doing, we're golden. Now Maki goes on to say, unlike his goons, he's got brains and that power level that's off the charts. We better watch our sight. Now, Gas goes on to say, one day we'll reign supreme over Frieza's army, and stuff like that. Now, Granola's mother shows up and stuff like that. Now, Alec goes on to say, the Heaters won't triumph over Frieza with might, but with wit, wealth, and intel. Our day will come eventually. And essentially Maki's like, well, that's why we're saving up and stuff like that. So yeah. Now, and Alec goes on to say the Heaters aren't destined to serve that nasty lizard forever. So Bardock's like getting on the whole thing. He's like, so they're planning on betraying Frieza. Now, Kid Granolah wakes up and is screaming out, "Mommy!" And he sees Bardock and he yells out a saying. The Heaters hear that and they turn around. Now, Monaito knocks Granolah out. And all of a sudden, the Heaters see that, well, clearly, it's a saying that clearly a saying is there, and that the thing. So the Heaters come up on them, and the Heaters say, Mekian and a Cerulean. And he's like, now Bardock's on hood, and he's like, who might you be? And essentially Bardock's like, I was about to slaughter the survivor spotted. And Alec's like, oh, so you want to freeze his men? He's like, well, go on, kill them. And obviously at this point, Bardock's hands are kind of tied because he doesn't want to kill them. He wants to get away. And obviously Alec's like, so are you having second thoughts or something like that? And Bardock goes in to say, actually, that Namekian just used some strange power. Maybe it's worth checking out before killing him. And essentially, Elect shoots Muzelli and kills her in one blast because he's not taking nothing away from that. And, well, when Granolah, I'm guaranteeing you, when Granolah finds out and comes across Elect, he's going to be pissed. And stuff like that. So Elect's like, okay, good, there you go. Now kill the kid and the Namekian and make it quick. But Bardock doesn't want to do that. He attacks back, but Gas gets in the way and blocks the attack. And essentially, Bardock took Monaito and Granolah away somewhere safely and stuff like that. And Elect's like, why would he attack us? He works for Frieza and stuff like that. And essentially, Oil's like, boss, he freaking was eavesdropping on us probably. And that's when Elect's like, damn, that could put us in some damn hot water. Shit. Now, Monaito says, I'm so sorry, it's no use. My power ain't enough to save her. But I'm like, but she got the Dragon Balls. You can bring her back to life. And essentially, Bardock's kind of pissed. He's like, what the fuck did I get myself into now? And anyways, now Monaito asks Bardock, what's his next move? But Bardock's like, I don't know. But what I do know is the Heaters are going to be bound to come look for us. Now, Elect says those freaking dudes have to die. And Gas is like, let me go. All three will perish by my hand. And essentially, Elect's like, okay, fine, go get it done and stuff like that. Meanwhile, we're going to prepare a meeting for Frieza and make sure to... And Elect tells Gas, he's like, make sure this mess is dealt with before he shows up. And obviously Gas is like, okay, yes, sir. And we cut back to the present, and Elect's like, a trip down memory lane, huh, Gas? On that day 40 years ago. And Elect's like, sure, the one you fought back then was a Saiyan, right? And Gas is like, yep. And he's like, I get it. And in a way, your own revenge is tied up in all of this. And Gas is like, I will not suffer such indignity ever again. So the chapter ends off by saying, with Gas saying he's grown strong, and Elect's holding one of the Dragon Balls, saying it never hurts to have insurance, and the fact that they need to find the last Dragon Ball so they can complete their plan, and that's how it ends. So before I get out of here, one of my takeaways, I will say I did like this chapter. It gives some more ongoing backstory to Bardock, as well as the standpoint we see, okay, this is how it was happening. So one, we can take away this. Granolah is going to be pissed when we get the reaction next month of, Granolah being pissed that, well, Elect killed his mom, and he's going to probably be pissed. He's like, I worked for the man that killed my own mother. Fucking hell. So he's going to be seriously pissed about that. Another thing to take away is the fact that it seems like Gas and Bardock had a fight on planet Cereal, and Bardock more than likely came out the victor in this, because the way Gas is talking, it seems like he got his, I wouldn't say his butt kicked, but he ended up losing to Bardock, and Bardock got away from the planet and stuff like that. So I'm guessing too, maybe next chapter, or when we cut over to Gas, maybe when he sees Goku, he's like, he probably has those same feelings towards from Bardock. He's like, I have to kill this guy. He looks just like that Saiyan that kicked my ass 40 years ago. So it's going to be very much interesting to see what this is going up. So they're again slowly building up Gas as a character. So that's one thing. And then another takeaway is maybe the fact that, well, the Heaters found out that Bardock was kind of spying on them. Maybe they got to Frieza quicker and told him the information that, hey, Lord Frieza, there was a Saiyan listening in saying, and maybe he kind of lied the details and saying, there was a Saiyan that, was willing to go against your word. He had a Cerulean and a Namekian right then and there, and he didn't kill him. And stuff like that. And also I heard with his other Saiyan buddy that he was planning on, plotting something against you, Lord Frieza. I think you might need to handle this personally. And maybe in the grand scheme of this whole thing, now we know the true reason why Frieza destroyed planet Vegeta, of the standpoint that he knew that he was essentially afraid of the Saiyans, and he knew the Saiyans were getting stronger with every growing battle, and he was afraid that maybe one day the Saiyans would get so strong that they wouldn't need his help and they would eventually take him down. We know that was his real true main reason of why he blew up Planet Vegeta, but maybe this whole ideology started with Elec putting into Frieza's head, like of Elec maybe telling a little white lie saying, yeah, I heard the Saiyans are thinking about doing more, jobs for you so they can try to increase their strength and get stronger and then, get so strong to where they can overthrow you. That's what I heard of the Saiyan talking along with another Saiyan. Maybe Elec put that little self of made doubt in Frieza and say, I gotta freaking take care of these damn Saiyans, otherwise I'm gonna get killed by these damn Saiyans, these damn monkeys. So maybe Elec kind of somewhat played a part into Frieza eventually blowing up Planet Vegeta. That's another thing I can take away from this whole grand scheme of thing. Now I just don't wonder why Bardock, I'm guessing, never went up to tell Frieza, hey, the heaters are playing you for fools. But then again, if Elec tells Frieza first, I highly doubt Frieza would listen to the Saiyans. Maybe if this information didn't get out to Frieza, because we're only led to believe that Elec told Frieza this information that probably put this self-doubt in Frieza, like, I gotta take care of these damn Saiyans, like, right now. So I do like the fact that maybe that created that self-doubt in Frieza. But other than that, I thought this chapter was solid. I can't wait to see what happens next chapter. I do think the backstory of Bardock was good here with how he spared him. My only issue with this chapter was the fact that why did Monaito, after this whole issue was blown over, why did he not, like, I don't know, revive everybody back to life who was killed? I just don't know why he didn't do that. But okay, yeah, that's my only lingering question I have. Why did he not use the Dragon Balls only a few days after this whole issue was happened? Why did he not do that? I guess unless that question's asked, we will not find out, because that's kind of a interesting angle to be like, well, you have the Dragon Balls, can't you wish them back to life now? So yeah, but other than that, that's kind of it. Again, like I said, I did like this chapter, so hey, I'm not too negative on Dragon Ball Super, even though so far I'm not kind of a fan of modern day Dragon Ball Super and stuff like that. Heck, I'm kind of still shaky on the movie. The only thing about the movie Dragon Ball Super Superhero I don't like is the fucking animation, the CGI animation. I just don't like it. I think it looks like fucking crap. I just don't understand why they're doing CGI animation instead of just keeping it the same 2D animation they've always fucking done in the past movies. And I know they said they wanted to take this movie in a different angle, but it's like, if it ain't broke, Toei, don't fix it. Just leave it 2D. Why do we need to change up the formula? Again, like I said, the only thing I can hope is the movie's good, that it downplays the CGI. It's still wonky to me. I really don't like it, especially for a Dragon Ball film, but again, I'll just have to see. But other than that, that's it. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Leave a like if you like this video. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this chapter of Dragon Ball Super, as well as the subscribe button to get more Dragon Ball Super content, as well as any other anime content I upload to the channel regarding whether it's Fairy Tail, Black Clover, My Hero Academia, which I'm actually going to be reviewing the movie My Hero Academia World Mission after I go see it this Friday. So yeah, but other than that, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day and watching this video. Till then, guys, peace.